Om Sahana Bhavato Sahano Bhunakto Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasishtaya Namo Namaha. Om नमस्ते अस्तु भगवान् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। ॐ नमोऽस्तु रामाय च लक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। ॐ श्रीराम राम रामेते रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामवरानने। ओम श्री सीतारामाभ्यां नमः। ओम श्री उमामहेश्वराभ्यां नमः। ओम श्री वेदव्यासादि समस्त अध्यात्म रामायणाचार्येभ्यो नमः। ओम रामं विश्वमयं वन्दे रामं वन्दे रघोद्वहं रामं विप्रवरं वन्दे रामं श्यामाग्रजं भजे यस्य वागंशुतश्च्यूतं रम्यं रामायणामृतं शैलजासेवितं वन्दे तं शिवं सोमरूपिणं सच्चिदानन्दसन्दोहं भक्तिभूतिविभूषणं पूर्णानन्दमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं शङ्करं स्वयम् अज्ञानध्वान्तसंहर्त्री ज्ञानालोकविलासिनी चन्द्रचूडवचश्चन्द्र चन्द्रिकेयं विराजते जयति रघुवंशतिलकः कौसल्यानन्दिवर्धनो रामः दशवदननिधनकारी दाशरथिः पुण्डरीकाक्षः अप्रमेयत्रयातीत निर्मलज्ञानमूर्तये मनोगिरां विदुराय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम अथ श्री ब्रह्मांड पुराणान्तर्गत श्रीमदध्यात्म रामायणं बालकाण्डं प्रथमः सर्गः। श्रीरामहृदयं प्रार्थना श्लोकाः। ओम यः पृथ्वीभरवारणाय दिविजैः सम्प्रार्थितश्चिन्मयः सञ्जातः पृथिवीतले रविकुले मायामनुष्यो व्ययः निश्चक्रं हतराक्षसः पुनरगात् ब्रह्मत्वमाद्यं स्थिरां कीर्तिं पापहरां विधाय जगतां तं जानकीशं भजे। विश्वोद्भवस्थितिलयादिषु हेतुमेकं मायाश्रयं विगतमायमचिन्त्यमूर्तिम् आनन्दसान्द्रमबलं निजबोधरूपं सीतावतीं विदिततत्त्वमहं नमामि। पठन्ति ये नित्यमनन्यचेतसः शृण्वन्ति चाध्यात्मिकसंज्ञितं शुभं रामायणं सर्वपुराणसम्मतं निर्धूतपापाः हरिमेव यान्ति ते। अध्यात्मरामायणमेव नित्यं पठेद्यदिच्छेद्भवबन्धमुक्तिं गवां सहस्रायुतकोटिदानात् फलं लभेद्यः शृणुयात् स नित्यं पुरारिगिरिसम्भूता श्रीरामार्णवसङ्गता अध्यात्मरामगङ्गेयं पुनातिभुवनत्रयम् अध्यात्मरामगङ्गेयं पुनातिभुवनत्रयम्। ओके, श्री रामायणम अध्यात्म भगवत गुरु प्रणाम करके चरण में वी आर स्टडिंग द 21st श्लोका इन द फर्स्ट सर्ग ऑफ बालकांडम नेम्ड एज श्री राम हृदयम. So the sutras are the beautiful Vedantic visions that Sri Bhagavan Maheshwara is giving to Mother Uma. Listen, the topic is what? About Purushottama Tattvam, explanation about Rama being that Purushottama. Now, 2-3 minutes we take, generally we discuss one aspect of what is Vedanta speaks is. Our confusion is what? When we are really living with the Rupa Nama, we take them as real. Therefore, the real reality we always have doubt in. This works even up to the level of Paramatma coming as an avatar and Rama and really living that avatar, seeing that we take him as real, forget Paramatma. And in that Rama, the avatar, he came as human, lived as human, that conditions our mind so much that we take him as a human, we miss that he is the truth. Actually, क्या है? Whether it is a blade of grass, listen, whether it is one microorganism of unicellular, whether it is Parabrahma or whether it is Brahmadeva, Rama, Krishna, ultimately all of them are one Parabrahma Tattva only. One point. Be very clear about it. Pipili Gadu Brahma Paryantam, one Parabrahma is only there. Okay. This is when everything is transcended, when he is seen. Now, at the non-transcendental stage of seeing the world, whether the world is real or not, later on. Well, seeing the world. World is real for the person who thinks it is real. And the one who starts inquiring, world appears to be projection. The one who recognizes the self, for him, there's no world at all. Like dehoham ityehava jadasya buddhi dehe cha jive cha vidushastvaham dihi viveka vijnana mahatmano brahmatmani sadatmani mahatmana. For a very strong egoistic fellow, deha itself is reality. And deha and jiva are accepted by one who started contemplation. Then the one who realizes self, Paramatma only himself, neither jiva nor deha. In the same way, at the transcendental absolute level, only one Paramatma. But when the ephemeral or temporary perceivable world is experienced, real or not, we already studied just now in Bhagavata, just because it is experience, it need not be real. वो डिस्कशन के ट्रैक में नहीं जाना मैं जस्ट सी experienced world is there. Now, in this world, things have to be said properly. Each one can do one thing, not everything. Okay. And in that place, he is great. And that thing he does, and to do that thing, he gets a power. Because of the work done that time, he is given importance. What happens to us is what? We get conditioned in all these small little things happening. And neither we are able to go beyond all this to see the transcendental, not to believe the presence of transcendental in this. That is what I am trying to explain with the example of Rama. In Parabrahma Tattva, there is no Rama, there is no Ravana, there is no Lanka, there are no worlds, there is nobody who is troubled by Ravana, there is no need of Rama to come as an avatar and kill him. In the pure Parabrahma. That's what? Na nirodho, na chotpatti, na vaddho, na chasadakaha, na mumukshur, na vai muktahi, tesha paramarthata. That is absolute me. Okay. But when it comes to the relative world, there is Ravana. He has done all atrocities. He should be eliminated for the good of the world. Already the Brahmadeva, all of them are there. None of them have the power to clear him, remove him. Therefore, from the Parabrahma, the Narayana Vishnu, from him, the Rama in the Parampara, in this particular human form, with the human life lived, has to come to eliminate that Ravana. And he came, he eliminated. Okay, now what is the Drishti of Parvati? Rama cried because of Sita. Then does he know the Atma? If he knows the Atma, how can he cry? If he doesn't know Atma, then how can he worship him? So her vision has become isolated. Only one aspect she is seeing. Rama cried. She is not even thinking why Rama cried. Rama cried as a human being to demonstrate to all human beings that you should cry for your wife or brother or children. Because मनुष्य अवतार में है तो मर्त्यावतारम मर्त्य शिक्षणार्थम. This is what is said in Bhagavatam in the 9th skandha when Sri Rama Avatara Katha came in 2 chapters. Martya Shikshanartham Martya Avataram. That is not actually, otherwise he is not became human to be bound. And then is that the Parvatiji's doubt? Yeah, it can be, and it can be anybody's doubt. But whosever doubt it may be, they must have the answer. Then what is that? Yes, Rama lived as Manushya, followed all dharma. You have to follow when Rama himself lived. Point one. Second is Rama is an avatara, therefore you have to worship him. Rama is an Ishvara, you have to surrender to him. Rama is Parabrahma, you have to identify with him. In the same way, entire world in the manifest form, in so many ways manifesting, in the unmanifest transcendent form, all are one. One Parabrahman. Ekameva Dvayam Brahma. In him nanasti na kinchana. But at the Vyavahar level, when you are here, you have to follow the norms. That is why Rutam cha Swadhyaya Pravachane. व्यवहार में है तो व्यवहार के रूल्स को फॉलो करना सिखाने के लिए राम जी आए, कृष्ण जी आए. Every avatar they came only to show. Now, where is our confusion? We are not able to comprehend both of them simultaneously. That inability. हमको क्या है, ब्रह्म तत्व है तो जगत के रूप में नहीं दिखना चाहिए, ऐसा फिक्स्ड होता है माइंड. Is it not? Like in many ways we get fixed in our life. सन्यासी है तो खाना पीना नहीं चाहिए, अरे जिंदा होना ही कि नहीं चाहिए उनको. We get fixed in that thing. Whereas the truth is what? It is transcendental. एताम विभूतिम योगम च ममयो वेत्ति तत्वतः. मेरा योग स्थिति को भी देखो, विभूति को भी देखो तत्वतः. So that only avikampeya yogena vichati. And all the saramsha is what? Which just now we studied in Bhagavad luckily. One Atma, because he is Ishvara, because he is Prabhu, Sarva Samartha. He only became creator, created, maintainer, maintained, dissolver, dissolved. This thing we have to intellectually fully grasp. Then follow you are not a creator, maintainer, destroyer. You are created, maintained, destroyed. Therefore, you follow your rules that way. Is it not? Then there is no bondage to you. That way, individual. But total thought is what? One alone is there. At that one level, all questions and reach there. Else, in the many level, the many rules you follow. Parvati wants to worship Rama, but she has this doubt. Then Bhagavan doubt. And such doubts come to all of us. Whichever the God we are given by the Guru to worship, we see one or two shortcomings or any of the things in that God, or we may not like. We say, Sab sare sampr gale mein dale, how can I worship Shiva? Like that, small doubts come to us. Then the Guru has to clarify them. Yeah, all these sampar, the egos, those who surrender the ego, भगवान के लिए सब विभूषण होते हैं, आभूषण होते हैं. Some we have to tell the explanation. So again I am repeating, Rama is Parabrahma, become one with him. Rama is Ishvara, surrender to him. Rama is Avatara, worship him. Rama is a Manushya, do what he did, Dharma. There is no confusion. Okay? At the ultimate level, he and me are one. Once you come down, he is Ishvara, I am Jiva, I have to surrender to him. And he is my bhajaniya Paramatma Ishtadevam, I am Bhakta, so I have to do the bhakti for him. Okay? It also again depends on what you take yourself as. If you come to Brahma Tattva level, then you and Rama are one. You need not worship him. Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Edam Pasate. No Amit Upadis. Then you take the Lord as that. Living at the Upadhi level and not recognizing Paramatma in the Mahat Brahma, Rama, Rupa and worship him, it won't help you. It is not correct. And जब तक मैं जीव हूं मुझे ईश्वर को मानना है. जब तक मैं कुछ चाहता हूं तो देने वाले को मानना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि देने वाला है. These are the things you have to be. Yesterday I told you, day before, if you remember, even today morning also. These are the things into which we always listen but remain in vagueness only. We are not getting fixed understanding in that. Like Guru Saranagat. हजार बार हम सुन रहे हैं, but still it is vague. We have not fixed our understanding and conviction in that. Therefore, we are not doing. Therefore, the benefit never comes. डेली वी हैव टू डू द उपासना उपास्य देवा. डेली हम सुन रहे हैं बट फिक्स नहीं हुआ वो थॉट, इसलिए कर नहीं रहे, इसलिए फायदा नहीं हो रहा. In life, that's what Arjuna was told as the first lesson by Krishna. अरे बेवकूफ, भागना है तो भाग, लड़ना है तो लड़, पहले डिसाइड कर. व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि एकाया कुरुनंदना, निश्चयात्मिका बुद्धि. इफ यू डोंट डू, बहुशाखा ही अनंताश्च बुद्धया अव्यवसायिनः. Krishna was ready to take away chariot. But Arjuna asked शिष्यस्तेयं शादिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम, फिर बैठ सुन 40 मिनट 48 मिनट सब घंटा. ही gave all the knowledge. निश्चय बुद्धि हमको नहीं हो रहा. क्यों? That much deep contemplation we have not given time and we didn't do. Why? Very superficial, because we have no time. Why? Our life is filled with so many projects, so many things to do. In that 80% is bhoga only. 10% is some duties, 10% is that which we imagine as sadhana. फंसे हैं इसमें हम, इसलिए विचारणा नहीं कर रहे, इसलिए निश्चय नहीं हो रहा, इसलिए हम कर नहीं पा रहे, इसलिए फल नहीं मिल रहा. It is fact, we have to know. Like we never did the vicharana or nishchaya, therefore never studied shastra so regular. Now we did vicharana, took nishchayam and doing it. तो हो रहा है कि नहीं? Every shastra, we are understanding at least what is contained in Adhyatma Ramayana, what is in Bhagavatam. पूरा डाइजेस्ट करके साधना करके मुक्ति पाना ठीक है, होगा तब जब होगा, but at least we are getting the idea because of निश्चयात्मिकता. So to every sadhana. Okay, what is said here? Now come to the 21 sloka. Lord is there. Now पुरुषोत्तम भगवान के बारे में कह रहे हैं, दोनों सब मिलाकर कह रहे हैं about पुरुषोत्तम and about Rama simultaneously. Because you have to know the Purushottama only came as Rama, you have to know that Rama is none other than Purushottama. As a Rama you worship, as a Purushottama you become one with him. That Purushottama is where Jananti Naivam Hrude Sthitam Vai. Hare, nowhere he is there, in your own heart he is there. But people doesn't know because Chami Karam Katam Ghatam Yathagnya. Like the Kantagada Chamigra, people are not focusing on him in the Hrudaya, therefore they are not recognizing him, including you. Now, examples. Yatha prakasho natu vidyate aprakasha natu vidyate ravo jyoti swabhave parameshware. The Parameshwar, Jyotish Swabhava, Surya Bhagavan can never have the darkness. In the same way, Vishuddha Vijnana Gana Raghuttama. This is a very complicated, deep thought. Lord Rama is Rama with all the Leelas done outside for us to see. But himself is he Vishuddha Vijnana Gana. Same is with every Jiva. Jiva with Upadhi, living as a Jiva with all conditions. But behind every Jiva, the Atma is one only. And that is Vishuddha Vijnana Gana only. She did not ask about the Atma, ask about Rama, therefore he is telling in that language only. Rama is Vishuddha Vijnana Gana. Then how can there be the avidya in him? Now, one thing we have to very certainly listen. I don't know whether we will be able to catch it or not. We, from ignorance, going to the knowledge. Paramatma, always in the knowledge, came to perform the Leela as Rama without forgetting his Jnanam. That is called Avatar. That is why again and again said, he has invoked Maya on himself. Means what? For us, to make us feel, imagine that he is playing the role of that. For us, he invoked Maya. And for doing the Leela, he invoked Maya. He never got bound by Maya like you and I, the Jiva. Means he never forgets his essential self. Like Gurudev. He goes with us. Does it mean that he became like us a Jiva, forgetting is an Atmanubhava? Then we can't worship him. He can't be a Guru. He's like anybody, a Jiva only. Just because he's playing all the Leela doesn't mean he has forgotten himself. Like you also, you lose carrom board game with your child. Not that you have forgotten the game. You just wanted to play that Leela. Many a time you know the truth, but still not to fall into argument, you accept the wife or husband what they say. That doesn't mean that you have become otherwise or lost. To sort out the issues are the things. Sometimes In the same way, to sort out the issue, he came as Rama, invoking Maya. Maya invoking matlab, through Upadi he is working. And we are seeing him like that. It doesn't mean that he lost his nature essential. He is always Vishuddha Vijnana Gana. Therefore, seeing him crying for Sita and all, don't imagine that he is a Jiva, he lost his Atma Swarupa and he is into Avidya now. Vishuddha Vijnana Gana Rama में कथम अविद्या स्यात् परतः परात्मनि. Then Shiva Bhagavan did Rama Upasana, therefore he could understand Rama being in that. But Rama, while doing Leela according to Valmiki Ramayana, he never showed his to be Parabrahma or anything. He fully engrossed in his action as a Manushya. That is what Parvati got doubt. Bhagavan Shiva is a great guru, therefore he is removing that doubt. He is straight away saying he is Vishuddha Vijnana Gana. How can he have avidya? Like Surya can never have darkness, so too Bhagavan Vishuddha Vijnana Gana, how can he have avidya? Therefore, remove the doubt is Rama as doesn't know himself. He knows himself is for Parabrahma only. And he has done Avatara Leela. For us, he is worship worthy. Clear? Next one. यथा हि चाक्ष्णा भ्रमता गृहादिकं विनष्टदृष्टेर् भ्रमतीव दृश्यते तथैव देहेन्द्रियकर्तुरात्मनः कृतं परेध्यस्य जनो विमुह्यति. The very sublime, again another thought. He says, the jiva in me, identify the upadhis, does karma. And these jivas karmas never touched by the Atma in me, but they are superimposed on me, the Atma. By me. This habit which I have got to superimpose the Jiva actions on myself. Same thing I do with Rama. That I see Rama acting. Rama did not superimpose his Jiva Bhava on his self. That he forgot the self and lived as Jiva. But I, because I am superimposed in myself, I superimpose the same thing on Rama also, that he has forgotten the self. No, he is a human being. मतलब मेरे अंदर वाली खोट गलती को मैं दूसरों को पर आरोप करता हूँ. It's like I see the snake in the rope, then I superimpose snake in the rope. There was never snake in the rope in reality. But I have seen and I have superimposed. It's my drushti. It never became snake. Whether you know it or not, anybody knows it or not, it is always rope. So in me also the self is always self. But the jiva doing activities, that activities of jiva, instead of separately keeping away, I have put it on me. And I think the same Rama also did. Ram mein kya hai? He remains as Atma Parabrahma and with his Maya Shakti, he invokes Avatara Rama and he is performing. While performing, he has never forgotten that he is Paramatma. For a particular cause, because devatas have prayed, he came and did it. ये सब इसी को कहते हैं लीला. इसको कहते हैं माया को उपयोग करके लीला करना. Like many, Bapi Saratra Papam Akanksite, at what level we are in wisdom or ignorance, that is how we assess others. This is an inevitable disease everybody has. Like मैं काम क्रोध में हूँ, तो मैं सोचता हूँ सब उसी में होते हैं. मैं देह हूँ, everybody I look at as देह. Is it not? So, and by teaching this thought, what Shiva is saying is, in fact, if you want to understand Rama, you have to understand you are the self. Other than the Jiva. Then you understand Rama also never became Jiva. He acted like Manushya, that's it. इसलिए आत्मज्ञान से ही ब्रह्म ज्ञान होता है. You understand? I do papa, I promote papa, I see papa everywhere. I do punya, I promote punya, I see punya everywhere. I discover the self in, I talk about the self everywhere, I see self everywhere. This is called as our ignorance superimposing on others. Many a time it happens, we question very many people's doing decision from our own thinking standpoint. Like Gurudev, how many things he has done with his own wisdom as required for the Dharmastapana Shastra. We don't we think from our standpoint. Okay? Now, Naho Naratrihi. This shloka understood. Tataiva Deha Indriya Kartuhu Atmana Krutam Pare Adhyasya Jana Vimuhyati. Now, this is again, I need to spend lot of time to deeply explain, but I am not doing that. एक थॉट तो दे देता हूं कि इन मी आई रिमेन एज साक्षी एंड डिस्कवर द सूडो ईगो डूइंग ऑल दैट. The more I start becoming Sakshi, no, the pseudo ego with the doings slowly dissolves. When the Sakshi is inquired into his nature, he is found to be Shuddha Chaitanya Atma. So, in the ignorance of I being the Shuddha Chaitanya Atma, the doer, the Karta or the experiencer, and the experienced, the world, both are projected in me. That is why in both the doer me and the thing which I do, both of them are aware by the awareness in me. Is it not? Like I am seeing a wall. The wall is seen, I am the seer. Now, don't I have another identity in me, the conscious entity, who is conscious of the seer and the wall also? That's why I say, मैं देख रहा हूं. So, देखने वाला मैं को भी देखने वाला अंदर है. And he is a देखने वाला of all. Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, and every Swapna, and every Jagrat, every experience is a common denominator. He is called Chaitanya, so, and that is actual me. In the ignorance of him only, I, the seer, the world seen is projected. Seer and seen are projected on oneself. That is why oneself alone is there in both of them. As what? As the existence as well as awareness. And without existence awareness, nothing remains. Then the existence awareness, taking both forms of the seer and seen, is called as Maya. That Maya cannot be, need not be, should not be, and contemplated on or understood or any chedo mat usko. Kya kare fir? Know the self. Maya along with its effects goes away. Know the rope, then the ignorance of rope along with it, the misunderstanding of the snake goes away. Ignorance is not a substantial thing for it to go. Snake is an unreal thing on which you can't do anything. What is remaining is rope. Apprehend the rope as rope. There is a rope, this is told to us by the one who has seen the rope. So too there is Paramatma, said to us by the Paramatma Anubhavi, Rishi Muni through Shastra. First we have to believe in that. And then they tell us the technique to know that Paramatma through meditation. Through that when you discover Paramatma is known, then Maya gone, then the projected world gone. This is the technique of all Vedantic Shastra. Without knowing the truth, the ignorance of truth will not go away. And from the ignorance of the truth only, the unreal was projected. That projection will not go away. And our another problem is what? Not only we are not recognizing the truth, but the projected we are trying to make as truth or take as truth. But it is not so. That is why the disappointment. न सत्य है जगतु, न चित्त है जगतु, न आनंद है जगत. हर हमको चाहिए सत्य चित्त आनंद. हर हम उसको जगत में ढूंढ रहे हैं. ये कब फाइंड होगा? कभी नहीं मिलेगा वो. इसलिए nobody in the world can satisfactorily say that I got liberation or I got infinite eternal happiness. ये तो है ही नहीं वो. See, these are little subtle. Grass. मतलब ऐसी बातें सुनते रहना. Then study the Prakarana Granthas of Shankara deeply. They are very helpful for us to understand these bigger texts and Upanishads. Like the morning class, Asti Bhati Priyam Rupa Nama. Such a beautiful sloka. Simply the ultimate truth is explained. So here in the context, what is that? Ki tathaiva dehendriya kartuhu atmanah krutam pare adhyasya janah vimuhyati. So there is a self in me. He is non-doer, akartaham abhoktaham. He is just witness, like Surya Bhagavan, like the Akash. Now the point kya hai na, what we have to understand is a very subtle thing, which Sita ji will tell Hanuman ji in the 20 shlokas. Anyway, we will study it thoroughly. उसी का introduction यहाँ बताएंगे हम. चुंबक वाला एग्जाम्पल याद रखो In the presence of Chumbaka, the filings move. In the presence of Surya, the entire world works. Now, this example should give us an idea. In the presence of electricity, the bulbs glow, the fans move. Now, these three aspects that fan and bulb cannot move or glow by itself. In the electricity, there is no movement or light, but in the presence of electricity, the fan moves, the bulb glows. This thought, if you can clearly, deeply understand, then we'll understand the relationless relationship between Paramatma, his presence, and in his presence, the entire world is moving. That's what he says. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacha. In the presence of Lord, his Prakriti Shakti is creating, maintaining, dissolving everything. In his presence, he is not doing anything. Maya cannot do without his presence. And nothing can happen without Maya. So each of these things independently we have to comprehend, together we have to comprehend. Then our intellects are becoming sharper enough to slowly understand what our Shastras are indicating. This knowledge will become deeper and deeper. Then we'll slowly see the imaginary as imaginary, the self as real. That's called as Mukti. टाइम लगेगा अभी तो हमने स्टार्ट की 2 साल से 10 साल 20 साल कितने जन्म सुनना पड़ेगा Is it not? And ananyata, ekagrata, only on this. बाकी कुछ भी काम नहीं सिर्फ वेदांत श्रवणम मननम चिंतनम इसके अलावा मैं कुछ नहीं करूंगा कुछ करूं तो वही काम जिससे ये साधना बढ़ेगा that is a prayer to God only that I do to such a relentless seeker all these truths are revealed slowly anyway now tasmat paranandamaye नाहो न रात्रिः सवितुर्यथा भवेत् प्रकाशरूपाव्यभिचारतः क्वचित् ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञानमिदं द्वयं हरौ रामे कथं स्थास्यति शुद्धचिद्घने. There are slokas are मांडुक्य लेवल वेरी हाई लेवल डीप बोल रहे हैं शिव जी भारती को बेचारी हमें और बोलते जाना. Now you understand in Kailas in such cool atmosphere, Himalayas, भगवान शिव जी आंख बंद करके किस परब्रह्म तत्व के ध्यान में हमेशा रहते हैं. ध्यान रूप of Lord Shiva. He is contemplating all this. Again, the example of Surya only taken. Na ahaha na ratri savitu yatha bhavet. Is there any night time to Lord Surya? No. Then therefore, is there any daytime to Lord Surya? No. Because Prakasha Rupa, because he is of the nature of Prakasha. And that Prakasha never goes away. Therefore, there is no Andhakara, therefore there is no specification of that. Like for us, kya hai? Bhagavan Surya, because earth is moving, goes other side. We get the night. Because we get the night, again when the Surya comes this side, we get the day. Day and night are for us. Who are other than Surya, who are on the earth, which is moving. All are relative. But Bhagavan Surya being Prakasha Sarupa, his Prakasha never goes away. Therefore, never there is a night for him. When there is no night for him, then there is no day also for him. Because day and night are in contrast for us. Then what do you call it as that day and nightlessness is? Shuddha Prakasha Swarupa is his nature, unchanging. That's what he says. In the same way, Jnanam Tatha Ajnanam Idam Dvayam Haro Rame Katam Stasati Shuddha Chit Gane. Rama is Shuddha Chit Ghana, is pure, immaculate mass of consciousness. What is the Shuddhata in that consciousness? There are no thoughts in him. In the thoughts only, or when we use the thoughts only, through the thought, when we know something, it is called as Jnanam. When you cannot know something, we call it as Ajnanam. Is it not? And every Jnana and Ajnana gained through the thoughts is only about Anatma. Remember that. Atma is self-revealed to self and it is Jnana Sarupa. It doesn't need thoughts to be knowing, to know, and nor the thoughts reach it. Thoughts cannot catch the Atma, need not catch. Atma is self-effulgent. So in the Shuddha Atma Vastu, which is Chaitanya Sarupa, There's no presence of even thought of intellect. How can there is a knowledge of something, ignorance of something? तो राम शुद्ध चिद्घन है, उनमें ज्ञान अज्ञान की कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं है. Like Surya is Shuddha Prakasha, in him day and night are not there. Mhm. Is called Anyatra Dharmat, Adharmat, Anyatra Smat, Kruta Krutat. This is what is the meaning of Mandukya. Sorry, Taittiriya Upanishad में even मांडुक्य में बताया कि two contrasting things have the support of the third in which these two are not there. हमेशा याद रखना. Two are more than two things. थ्री अवस्था से वहाँ और थ्री व्याहृतियाँ यहाँ. उनके पर एक चौथा है जिसमें तीनों आते जाते हैं. दिस इंटेलेक्चुअल नॉलेज. देन दैट नॉलेज बिकम एक्सपीरियंस व्हेन यू ट्रांसेंड द थ्री. पहले तो इंटेलेक्चुअली समझो ना, तीन को चलाने वाला एक फोर्थ होता है जिसमें ये तीन नहीं होते हैं, लेकिन जब भी होते हैं तो उन्हीं के आधार पर रहते हैं. वी ट्रांसेंड द थ्री, वी रीच द फोर. वी रीच द फोर, देयर आर नो थ्री. Come from dream into waking, look back, there's no dream. Like that. Okay. Now he says, Tasmat paranandamaye raghutame vijnana rupe hi na vidyate tamaha ajnana sakshinyarvindalochane maya shreyatvat nahi moha karanam. Tasmat, therefore, conclusion is what? Paranandamaye raghutame. Raghutama, who is Anandamaya. Sadgana, Chidgana, said in the earlier slokas. No, I am not with thorough remembrance of every word of every sloka, telling to you like a PhD student told by the PhD research guide. ऐसा नहीं पढ़ा रहा हूँ आपको, पढ़ा सकता, but it's too heavy. Where the Parabrahma Tattva with its Swarup of Satchidananda are interpreted in these slokas. वो बड़ा research है वो, huge high level, not impossible. But right now not required. Just literal meaning of slokas at this level. Therefore, Paranandamaya Raguttame. In the Raguttama, who is supreme bliss because he is Sadgana Chidgana, Vijnana Rupe, he is pure consciousness. Nahi vidyate tamaha, how can there be ignorance in him? And he is Ajnana Sakshini Aravinda Lochane. See, the self in us is the witness even for ignorance. Ignorance is Nidravastha. निद्रा में जागृत स्वप्न नहीं है, बट निद्रा को जानने का कोई है ना, तभी जाकर कहा ना कि कुछ नहीं था उधर. What is निद्रा अनुभूति? There is nothing like जागृत स्वप्न. How do you know? Because somebody illuminated that. That is what we spoke that in our other text also. That the pure conscious self in me is such one, which is aware of the knowledge of the buddhi, which is also aware of the ignorance of the buddhi. Is it not? Therefore, that is why I know what I know. Also, I know what I don't know. Therefore, I am that knower who knows what I know, who knows what I don't know. लेकिन जो जानता हूं मैं उसको भी जानता हूं, मैं जो नहीं जानता हूं नामक चीज को भी जानता हूं मैं. Like I know mathematics, so I am aware that I know mathematics. I don't know physics, so I know that I don't know physics. The consciousness me eliminates both ignorance and knowledge. है ना, like ये रोशन वाला दिन है, I am aware of it, and रात है, ignorance, हमारा darkness, that also I know. The conscious, that is the beauty of consciousness. Ki when it is absolutely dark, who is the light at that time? The speech. In the speech also doesn't work. Who is there? The mind. When the mind also is quiet, and who is the light? Only pure consciousness. This is called Ekashloki Vedanta of Bhagavan Adi Shankara. Kim Jyoti Hitava Bhanumana Hani. That sloka is a pure. That's called Tameva Bhanta Manavati Sarvam. The Paramatma is never switching off or ending light of pure consciousness. In him, ignorance of any sort is impossible. So here the Purushottama Tattva, Rama's Parabrahma Tattva, both are together told. Okay, Ajnana Sakshini is Ajnana Sakshi. In the Lochana, in the form, beautiful eyes. Maya Ashrayatvat. He is the Ashraya of even Maya. Nahi Moha Karanam. How can he have the Moha? See, you and I also, when little Vivek say, what is real and real, we don't know. We come to know. We ourselves will not fall into any delusion. When you know that प्रारब्ध से देह आता जाता है, सुख दुख आते जाते हैं, लोग मिलते जाते हैं, we obviously reduce the value importance given to them. So when our delusion goes away, we also wisely live. Rama never had delusion, is a pure consciousness. How can you attribute ignorance to him? And you say he has forgotten himself, then he had to be taught by Vasishta ji and all. यार वो सब एक मनुष्य के रूप में आते हैं, वो गुरु को बजाकर तत्व ज्ञान सुनना है, वो धर्म सिखाने के लिए मर्त्य अवतारम मर्त्य शिक्षणार्थम, टू डू द शिक्षणा टू अस ही डिड दैट लीला. ये पार्वती, रिमेंबर. In that way, every jiva is doing lila only, and he doesn't know he is doing lila, and the one who does lila through him is the Ishvara. Ishvara, as every jiva, is doing Vyashti and Samashti lila. And every jiva at his level, because the freedom is given, he is misusing that, and he getting isolated himself from the total, and that isolating misunderstanding naturally has the outcome of dukkha, therefore he is suffocated. Yes, sir, really, And that jiva, when he understands that as an isolated being I am suffering, I have to one with the total by surrendering, he himself realizes his earlier mistake and laughs at it. अब देखो एक सवाल हमेशा होता है, पर फिर भी हुआ क्यों? उसका एक ही आंसर है, नहीं है आंसर, इसलिए उसको कहते हैं माया. देखो याद रखना, बुद्धि को समझा नहीं सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके परे जा सकते. This problem of Maya cannot be understood, but it can be solved. You understand? It cannot be understood, it can be transcended. Like where from why the snake came, you can never understand. But by knowing the rope, you can solve the problem of snake. Any of us try to solve the problem of snake, never try to understand the self. By never they want to deal with the snake without trying to know the truth. That's a problem. अल्टीमेटली प्रश्न का आंसर क्यों नहीं होता? क्योंकि हुआ ही नहीं यार, हमेशा रोप रोप ही था. द स्नेक तुम देख रहे हो तो तुम जवाबदार हो. See, did the rope became snake? No. So can the rope answer why the snake came on you? No. Is the snake really existing? No. Can it answer you ki where did you come and stay on the rope? Even snake cannot answer. Then who can answer? You only have to answer. But you don't have answer. Therefore, you seek the answer from the one who has seen the rope as it is. He is called as Guru and Shastra. Therefore, गुरु और शास्त्र से सुनकर हम अपने ही अंदर के अविद्या जनित सारे द्वैत जगत को हटाकर विद्या के द्वारा एक अद्वैत आत्मा को जानना. So the track of attention is on Vidya to know the one without second self. When you know it and look back, when you know the rope and look back, there's no snake, then where is the question? Then where was the snake when I saw? Then it is an appearance. Why it appeared? Because of the ignorance of the rope. Why the rope was ignorant? You were ignorant of the rope. That's the wrong question. There is no answer to that. When there is no answer, that itself is an answer. There's a solution. Find the solution. Like a banda, how he is behaving. There's no answer, but there's a solution. No? Namaskar karke chale jao. This is the only solution in the world. Do namaskar to everyone and go away. You can never make anybody change. Tuned to you is a Bhranti Maya Mithya. That is why no guru tries to change any disciple. He speaks only truth. Whether the disciple listens or changes or not, it is disciple's Purushartha and his Prarabdha. Guru is untouched. Like Lord Surya goes on giving light. Somebody is receiving or not, he is not bothered. And having received it, somebody doing a criminal act or spiritual act or social, he is not bothered. Because he knows he cannot. He only illumines light. He gives his nature of light. So to the Guru. So to be in Vyavahara also. अपना धर्म का पालन करो, किसी को बदलो मत, अपने अंदर जाके अपने आत्मा को जानो बस. I can't change you because you yourself don't want to change. You can't change me because I don't want to. If I want to change myself, why do I need you? If you want to change yourself, why do you need me? I'm just bringing this Vedanta to little Vyavahar. And everyone tries to change others, understand others. By the time you understand that fellow, he changed already. Then you question, why change हो गया? अब उसको भी पता नहीं है. The Maya क्या है? Ishvara is molding every jiva. That jiva himself doesn't know that it is happening through him. And that we can't apprehend. ये तो तीसरा एक करता है भाई, नियंता वो है. He is managing every jiva's journey. Now who knows this, then they become more surrendered to him rather than worried here. In the surrender, what is done is you accept whatever comes and you do whatever is told. Finish. Once you accept whatever comes and do what you are supposed to do, you are free from samsara. That's called freedom. Not doing what is to be done and not accepting what is given, trying to do it otherwise, which is impossible, is called samsara. धीरे धीरे सुन लेना. ओके. हाँ, नौ अत्र ते कथयिष्यामि रहस्यमपि दुर्लभं सीता राम मरुत्सूनो संवादं मोक्ष साधन. In this context, I'll tell you a beautiful story of Rama, Sita, Rama and Hanuman Samvada. This is Maheshwara Bhagavan telling Uma Parvati after giving her the theory. Now he cannot, she will not believe because you told you are my husband. How can I understand or accept what my husband says? Shiva knows it. Therefore, having explained to her theory, then he takes the example story of Sita Rama Hanuman Samvada. In that, how on Rama's order, Sita teaches Hanumanji a very peculiar knowledge, which is very difficult for us to immediately understand unless we study Adhyatma. She narrates the entire Leelas of Rama done to Hanuman and says, ये सब मैंने किया, लोग समझते राम किए. Same knowledge Rama more substantiates by teaching Tattva to Hanumanji later. So here Bhagavan Shiva introducing to Parvati ji the samvada between Sita Hanuman and Rama Hanuman, in which what is spoken so far about Parabrahma Tattva, Purushottama Tattva Bhagavan and his Leelas with his Maya Shakti are elaborately told. सुन सुनकर है सब हम अपने बुद्धि को समझदारी से समझना है, जो समझना है, जो नहीं समझते हैं उसको बुद्धि के परे जाकर अनुभव में लाना है. All that will be very deep subject we will study. This is how the first Rama HRUDYAM chapter is very heavy loaded. And after that second chapter is only story. In between थोड़ा वेदांत. After सुनने के बाद इतना सारा, वो उतना मुश्किल नहीं होगा. Then whether you have understood or not to test us, in Sri Rama Gita, Rama Lakshmana Samvada, again there the high dose jnana Bhagavan gives. That is at the Uttarakanda 5th Sarga. And all these things have 5 sarga, 9 sarga, 12 sarga. Thoda, not like Ramayana 180 sarga, 120, 30. वाल्मीकि की तरह इतने सब नहीं, छोटे छोटे ही है. They are 24,000. These are only 4,000 shlokas. So 1/6. So for that it took 2 years. So 1/6 of 2 years is 4 months or 6 months maximum. So we will do this. Thank you. Om. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. परम ऋषिभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्रुतिमात्रे रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः. तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. चैंटिंग्स. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्री महाविष्णवे नमः. ओम भाग्याब्धि चंद्रिका भक्त चित्त के घनागना रोगभरतदम्बोलिर्मृत्युदारकुठारिकायै नमो नमः। ओम नासै रोगहरै समवीर जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। ओम श्री हनुमद्वीराय नमः। ओम श्री हनुमते 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 नमः। ओम शिव मंत्र। ओम नमः शिवाय। 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 ओम वज्रनखाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदग्गस्त्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंहः प्रचोदयात्। ओम वज्रनखाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदग्गस्त्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंहः प्रचोदयात्। ओम वज्रनखाय विद्महे तीक्ष्णदग्गस्त्राय धीमहि तन्नो नारसिंहः प्रचोदयात्। ओम नमो भगवते श्री लक्ष्मी नारसिंहाय प्रह्लादाय च। ओम नमो भगवते श्री लक्ष्मी नारसिंहाय प्रह्लादाय च। ओम नमो भगवते श्री लक्ष्मी नारसिंहाय प्रह्लादाय च। Thank you. Amma. Today onwards, we will do some Vishnu Stotra Parayanam. Hmm. Please have patience. Till yesterday, last 15 or 10 days, we were doing Shiva Stotra Parayanam. Today onwards, for 10 days, we do Vishnu Parayanam Stotra. On Ganesh Jayanti, maybe Ganesh Stotra, 31st, etc. Now, why this Stotras Parayanam is? First of all, to know that such great stotras are given by Adi Shankar Bhagavan and such great bhaktas. They are existing. In and through them, the Bhakti Paravasya, Tattva, and so many ways, beautiful things are taught, including what, for, and how we have to pray to the God. And toward the end of the day, after our heavy study of Bhagavatam and Raman, with the Smarana of Bhagavan through the Stotra, we can conclude the day by being at the feet of the Lord or lap of the Lord. It will be a good conclusion of the day. And in fact, yesterday I was so much troubled by the thought, take 10-20 minutes more, even explain the meaning of that sutra, at least precisely. I thought restricted that because it became heavy for me, speaker, as well as listeners. Then why are you chanting? Chanting is also maja, a joy. Because morning is a pravachana means Brahma Yajnam. Brahma Yajnam includes Veda chantings, also the stotras. Sutras are not less than those things. They are the anubhava given to us by the greater Jino Muktas like Adi Shankara Ityadi. We have no doubt at all in that. So Vishnu Stotras from today. Today, one stotra of 7 shloka, another shloka 52 shlokas we chant. Another stotra. It may take 30 minutes. Big one. We will do that. Okay. First one is called Shri Vishnu Shatpadi Stotram. Second is Vishnu Padadi Keshanta. In the beginning of Shiva also we studied Vishnu Shiva Keshadi Padanta, Shiva Padadi Keshanta. दोनों वहाँ हमने देखा. Here Vishnu Pada Adi Keshanta Stotra. How beautiful they are describing Vishnu Bhagavan's entire pada to Kesha in the most divine Tattva Drushti se bhi and Sundarata for our devotion. That is what he was revealing. Bhagavan Adi Shankara, though he was doing his missionary work, he was also in his spare time composing all this while experiencing the divinity of the Lord, which will become support for all seekers in the future. So he has written Vedanta Prakana Granthas, Yoga Prakana Granthas, Bhakti Prakana Granthas, also the Bhashyas for the Vedanta Jnana, Bhakti Jnanam. See, Shivananda, the Trishati, Lalita Trishati Bhashya is there. So many has, Vishnu Sahasranam Bhashya is there. He lived a full life, Shankara Bhagavan. There no, the words won't suffice to extend our gratitude as well as glorify his greatness. Anyway, start. ओम अथ श्री आद्य शंकराचार्य कृत स्तोत्राणां पारायणम् अद्यतन दिवस आरभ्य श्री महाविष्णोः विष्णुवताराणां स्तोत्राणां पारायणम् आदौ ओम अथ श्री आद्य शंकराचार्य कृत श्री विष्णु षट्पदी स्तोत्रम् ओम ओम अविनयमपनय विष्णो दमय मन शमय विषय मृगतृष्णां भूतदयां विस्तारय तारय संसार सागरतः दिव्यधुनी मकरन्दे परिमल परिभोग सच्चिदानन्दे श्रीपति पदारविन्दे भवभयखेद छिदे वन्दे सत्यपि भेदावगमे नाथ तवाहं नमामकीनस्त्वं सामुद्रो हि तरङ्गः क्वचन समुद्रो न तारङ्गः उद्धृतनग नगभिदनुज धनुजकुलामित्र मित्र शशिदृष्टे दृष्टे भवति प्रभवति न भवति किं भवतिरस्कारः मत्स्यादिविरवतारैः अवतारतावता सदा वसुधाम परमेश्वर परिपाल्यः भवता भवतापभीतोऽहम् दामोदर गुणमन्दिर सुन्दर वदनारविन्द गोविन्द भवजलधि मथन मन्दर परमं दर मपनय त्वं मे नारायण करुणामय शरणं करवाणि तावकौ चरणौ इति षट्पदी मदीये वदन सरोजे सदा वसतु इति श्री आद्यशंकर कृत श्री विष्णु षट्पदी स्तोत्रम संपूर्णम् अथ श्री आद्यशंकराचार्य कृत श्री विष्णु पादादि केशांत स्तोत्रम यूज इट इज ट्राई हम करेंगे ओम 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 अथ श्री विष्णुपादादि केशांत स्तोत्रम ओम लक्ष्मी भर्तुर्भुजाग्रे कृतवसति सितं यस्य रूपं विशाला नीलाद्रे स्तुङ्गशृङ्गस्थितमिव रजनी नाथ बिम्बं विभाति पायान्नः पाञ्चजन्य सदिति कुलत्रासनैः पूरयन् स्वैः निध्वानैर्नीरदौघ ध्वनिसरिभवदैः अम्बरं कम्बुराजः आहुर्यस्य स्वरूपं क्षणसुखमखिलं सूरयः कालमेतं ध्वान्तस्यैकान्तमन्तं यदपि च परमं सर्वधाम्नां च धाम चक्रं तच्चक्रपाणेर्दितिजतनुगलद्रक्तधाराक्तधारं शश्वन्नो विश्ववन्द्यं वितरतु विपुलं शर्मघर्मां शुशोभम् अव्यान्निर्घात घोरो बरिभुज पवनामर्मनात्मातमूर्तेः अस्मान् विस्मेर नेत्र त्रिदश नुतिवच साधुकारैः सुतारः सर्वं संहर्तुमिच्छोः अरिकुलभुवनं स्पारविस्पारनादः संयत्कल्पान्तसिन्धौ शरसलिलघटावार्मुच कार्मुकस्य जीमूतश्यामभासा मुहुरपि भगवत् बाहुना मोहयन्ति युद्धेषुद्धूयमाना झटिति तडिदिवा लक्ष्यते यस्य मूर्तिः सोऽसिस्त्रासा कुलाक्षत्रिदश रिपुवपुः शोणितास्वादतृप्तः नित्यानन्दाय भूयान् मधुमदनमनो नन्दको नः कम्राकारा मुरारेः करकमलतले नानुरागाद्गृहीता सम्यक् वृत्ता स्थिताग्रे सपदि न सहते दर्शनं या परेषां राजन्ती दैत्यजीवासवमदमुदिता लोहितालेपनार्द्रा कामं दीप्तांशुकान्ता प्रदिशतु दयिते वास्य कौमोदकीनः यो विश्वप्राणभूतस्तनुरपि च हरेः यानकेतुस्वरूपः यं संचिन्त्यैव सद्य स्वयमुरगवधू वर्गगर्भाः पतन्ति चञ्चण्डोरुतुण्ड त्रुटितफणिफसा रक्तपङ्काङ्किताभ्यां वन्दे छन्दोमयं तं खगपतिममल स्वर्णवर्णं सुपर्णं विष्णोर्विश्वेश्वरस्य प्रवरशयनकृत् सर्वलोकैकधर्ता सोऽनन्त सर्वभूतः पृथुविमलयशाः सर्ववेदैश्च वेद्यः साता विश्वस्य शश्वत् सकलसुररिपु ध्वंसन पापहन्ता सर्वज्ञ सर्वसाक्षी सकलविषभयात् पातु भोगेश्वरो नः वाग्भूगौर्यादिभेदैर्विदुरिह मुनयो यां यदीयैश्च पुंसां कारुण्यार्द्रैः कटाक्षैः सकृदविपतितैः सम्पदस्युः समग्राः कुन्देन्दुस्वच्छमन्दस्मितमधुर मुखाम्भोरुहां सुन्दराङ्गीं वन्दे वन्द्यामशेषैरपि मुरभिदुरो मन्दिराम् इन्दिरां ताम् यासूते सत्त्वजालं सकलमपि सदा सन्निधानेन पुंसः धत्तेया तत्त्वयोगात् शरमचरमिदं भूतये भूतजातं धात्रीं स्थात्रीं जनित्रीं प्रकृतिमविकृतिं विश्वशक्तिं विधात्रीं विष्णोर्विश्वात्मनस्तां विपुलगुणमयीं प्राणनाथां प्रणौमि येभ्यो सूयद्भिरुच्चैः सपदि पदमुरु त्यज्यते दैत्यवर्णैर्वर्गैः येभ्यो धर्तुं च मूर्ध्ना स्पृहयति सततं सर्वगीर्वाणवर्गः नित्यं निर्मूलयेयुर्निचिततरम् अमी भक्तिविघ्नात्मनांशः पद्माक्षस्याङ्घ्रिपद्मद्वयतलनिलयाः पांसवः पापपङ्कम् रेखालेखादिवन्द्याः चरणतलगताः चक्रमत्स्यादिरूपाः स्निग्धाः सूक्ष्माः सुजाता मृदुललिततर क्षामसूत्रायमाणाः दद्युर्नो मङ्गलानि भ्रमरभरजुषा कोमलेनाब्धिजायाः कम्रेणाम्रेड्यमानाः किसलय मृदुना पाणिना चक्रपाणेः यस्माद् आक्रामतोद्यां गुरुडमणिशिला केतुदण्डायमानात् दाश्चोतन्तीव भासे सुरसरिदमला वैजयन्तीव कान्ता भूयिष्ठो यस्तथान्यो भुवनगृह बृहत् सम्भशोभां दधानः सात पातामेतौ पयोजोदरललिततलौ पङ्कजाक्षस्य पादौ आक्रामद्भ्यां त्रिलोकीम् असुर सुरपति तत्क्षणादेव नीतौ याभ्यां वैरोचनीन्द्रौ युगपदपि विपत् सम्पदोरेकधाम ताभ्यां ताम्रोदराभ्यां मुहुरहमजितस्याञ्चिताभ्यामुभाभ्यां प्राजैश्वर्यप्रदाभ्यां प्रणतिमुपगतः पादपङ्केरुहाभ्यां येभ्यो वर्णश्चतुर्थः प्रथमत उदभूत् आदिसर्गे प्रजानां साहस्री चापि संख्या प्रकटमभिहिता सर्ववेदेषु येषाम् व्याप्ता विश्वम्भरायैः अतिवितततनोः विश्वमूर्तेर्विराजः विष्णोस्तेभ्यो महद्भ्यः सततमपि नमोस्त्वङ्घ्रिपङ्केरुहेभ्यः विष्णोः पादद्वयाग्रे विमलनखमणि भ्राजिताराजितेयं राजीवस्येव रम्या हिमजलकणिकालङ्कृताग्रादलाली अस्माकं विस्मयार्हाण्यखिल जनमनः प्रार्थनीया हि सेयं दद्यादाद्यानवद्भ्यात् अतिरतिरुचिराम् अङ्गमङ्गलान्यङ्गुलीनाम् यस्यां दृष्ट्वा मलायां प्रतिकृतिम् अमराः सम्भवन्त्यानमन्तः सेन्द्राः सान्द्रीकृतेर्ष्याः तु अपरसुरकुला शङ्कयातङ्कवन्तः सापद्यः सातिरेकां सकलसुखकरीं सम्पदं साधयेन्नः चञ्चच्चरार्वंशु चक्राचरणनिलयोः चक्रपाणेर्नखाली पादाम्भोजन्मसेवा समवनत सुरव्रातभास्वत्कीट प्रत्युक्तोच्चावचाश्म प्रवर करगणैः चित्रितं यद्विभाति नम्राङ्गानां हरेर्नो हरिदुपलमहाकूर्मसौन्दर्यहारी छायां श्रेयः प्रदाय प्रपदयुगमिदं प्रापयेत् पापमन्तं श्रीमत्यौ चारुवृत्ते करपरिमिलनानन्दहृष्टे रमायाः सौन्दर्याध्येन्द्रनीलोपलरचित महादण्डयोः कान्तिचौरे सूरेन्द्रैः स्तूयमाने सुरकुलसुखदे सूदितारातिसङ्घे जङ्घे नारायणीये मुहुरपि जयताम् अस्मदंहो हरन्त्यौ सम्यक् साख्यं विधातुं सममिव सततं जङ्गयोः खिन्नयो ये भारीभूतोरुदण्डद्वयभरणकृतोत्तम्बभावं भजेते चित्तादर्शं विधातुं महितमिव सतां ते समुद्गायमाने वृत्ताकारे विधत्तां हृदि मुदमजितस्यानिशं जानुनीनः देवो भीतिं विधातुः सपति विदधतौ कैटभाक्यं मधुं चापि आरोप्यारूढगर्भावधि जलधियोर् आदिदैत्यौ जघान वृत्तावन्योन्यतुल्यौ चतुरमुपचयं बिभ्रतावभ्रनीका ऊरू चारु हरेस्तौ मुदमतिशयनीं मानसेनौ विधत्ताम पीतेन द्योतते यच्चतुरपरिहितेनाम्बरेणात्युदारौ जातालङ्कारयोगं जलमिव जलदौ बाणभाग्निप्रभाभिः एतत्पातीत्यदान्नो जगन्मतिघना देवसोमाननीयौ सातत्येनैव चेतो विषयमवतरत् पातु पीताम्बरस्य यस्याधाम्ना त्रिधाम्नो जगन्कलितया भ्राजतेऽङ्गं यथाब्धेः मध्यस्थो मन्द्रराद्रिर्भुजगपतिमः भोगसन्नद्धमध्यः काञ्ची सा काञ्चनाभा मणिवरकिरणैरि उल्लसद्भिः प्रदीप्ता कल्यां कल्याणदात्री मम मतिमनिशं कम्ररूपा करोतु उन्नम्रं कम्रमुच्चैरुपचितमुदभूत् यत्र पत्रैर्विचित्रैः पूर्वं गीर्वाणपूज्यं कमलजमधुप स्यास्पदं तत्पयोजं तस्मिन्नीलाश्मनीलैः तरलरुचिजलैः पूरिते केलिबुद्ध्या नालीकाक्षस्य नाभीसरसि वसतु नः चित्तहंसश्चिराय पातालं यस्य नालं वलयमपि दिशां पत्रपङ्क्तिर्नगेन्द्रान् विद्वांसः केसरालीर्विदुरिह विपुलां कर्णिकां स्वर्णशैलं भूयाद् गायत् स्वयंभूमधुकरभवनं भूमयं कामदं नः नालीकं नाभिपद्माकरभवमुरुतन् नागशय्यस्य शौरेः आदौ कल्पस्य यस्मात् प्रभवति विततं विश्वमेतत् विकल्पैः कल्पान्ते यस्य चान्तः प्रविशति सकलं स्थावरं जङ्गमं च अत्यन्ताचिन्त्यमूर्तेः चिरतरमजितस्यान्तरिक्षस्वरूपे तस्मिन्नस्माकमन्तःकरणमतिमुदा क्रीडतात् क्रोडभागे कान्त्यम्बः पूरपूर्णे लसदसितवली भङ्गभास्वत्तरङ्गे गम्भीराकारनाभि చతురతరమః వర్తశోభిన్యుదారే క్రీడత్వానద్దహేమోదర దహనరుహ బాడబాగ్నిప్రభాఢ్యే కామం దామోదరీయోదర సలిలనిధౌ చిత్తమత్స్యశ్చిరం నః నాభీనాలీకమూలా దదిక పరిమళోన్మోహితానామలీనామ మాలా నీలేవయాంతే స్ఫురతి రుచిమతి వక్త్రపద్మోన్ముఖీయా రమ్యా సారోమరాజిర్ महित रुचिकरी मध्यभागस्य विष्णोः चित्तस्तामाविरंसी चिरतरमुचितां साधयन्तु श्रियन्नः संस्तीर्णं कौस्तुभांशु प्रसरकिसलयैर्मुग्धमुक्ताफलाढ्यं श्रीवत्सोल्लासिफुल्लः प्रतिनववनमालाङ्किराजद्भुजान्तं वक्षश्रीवत्सकान्तं मधुकरनिकर श्यामलं शार्ङ्गपाणेः संसाराद्वश्रमान्तैरुपवनमिमयत् सेवितं तत्प्रपद्ये कान्तं वक्षोनितान्तं विदद दिवगलं कालिमा कालशत्रोः इन्दोर्बिम्बं यथाङ्को मधुप इव तरोर्मञ्जरीं राजते यः श्रीमान् नित्यं विधेयाद् अविरलमिलितः कौस्तुभश्रीप्रतानैः श्रीवत्स श्रीपते सश्रिय इव दयितो वत्स उच्चैः श्रियन्नः सम्भूयाम्बोधिमध्यात् सपदि सहजया यः श्रिया सन्निधत्ते नीले नारायणोरस्तलगगनतले हारतारोपसेव्ये आशाः सर्वाः प्रकाशा विददपि ददत् चात्मभासान्यतेजाम स्याश्चर्यस्याकरो नोद्युमणिरिव मणिः कौस्तुभस्योऽस्तु भूत्यै यावानुकूल्यात् सरति मणिरुचा भासमाना समाना साकं साकम्पमं से वसति विदधति वासुभद्रं सुभद्रं सारं सारङ्गसङ्घैर्मुखरितकुसुमे च कान्ता च कान्ता माला मालालितास्मान्न विरमतु सुखैर्योजयन्ती जयन्ती हारस्योरुप्रभाभिः प्रतिनववनमालांशुभिः प्रांशुरूपैः श्रीभिश्चाप्यङ्गदानां कवलितरुचि यन्निष्कभाभिश्च भाति बाहुल्येनैव बद्धाञ्जलिपुटमचित स्याभियाचामहे तत् बन्धार्तिं बाधतान्नो बहुव्यतिकरी करीं बन्धुरं बाहुमूलं विश्वत्राणैकदीक्षाः तदनुगुणगुणक्षत्रनिर्माणदक्षाः कर्तारो दुर्निरूपार्स्फुटगुणयशसां कर्मणामद्भुतानां शारङ्गं बाणं कृपाणं फलकमरिगदा पद्मशङ्खासहस्रं बिभ्राणा शस्त्रं जालं मम ददतु हरेर्बाहवो मोहहानिं कण्ठाकल्पोद्गतैर्यः कनकमयलसत् कुण्डलोत्थैरुदारैः उद्योतैः कौस्तुभस्यापि उरुविरुपचितश्चित्रवर्णो विभाति कण्ठाश्लेषे रमायाः करवलयपदैर्मुद्रिते भद्ररूपे वैकुण्ठीयेऽत्र कण्ठे वसतु मम मतिः कण्ठभावं विहाय पद्मानन्दप्रदाता परिलसदृण श्रीपरीताग्रभागः काले काले च कम्बु प्रवरशशधरा पूरणेयः प्रवीणः वक्त्रौकाशान्तरस्थस्थिरयति नितरां दन्ततारौघशोभां श्रीभर्तुर्दन्तवासोद्युमणिरगतमो नाशनायास्त्वसौनः नित्यं स्नेहातिरेकात् निजकमितुरलं विप्रयोगाक्षमाया वक्त्रेन्दोरन्तराले कृतवसतिरिवा भाति नक्षत्रराजिः लक्ष्मीकान्तस्य कान्ताकृतिरतिविलसन् मुग्धमुक्तावली श्रीः दन्ताली सततं सा नतिनुतिनिरतान् अक्षतान् रक्षतान्नः ब्रह्मन् ब्रह्मण्यजिह्वमति अपि कुरुषे देवसम्भावये त्वां शम्भो शक्रत्रिलोकीम् अवसिक्म्यमरैर्नारदाद्याः सुखं वः इत्थं सेवावनम्रं सुरमुनिनिकरं वीक्ष विष्णोः प्रसन्नस्य अस्येन्द्रोरास्रवन्ति वरवचनसुधा लादयेन्मानसं नः कर्णस्तस्वर्णक्रमोज्ज्वल मकरमहा कुण्डल प्रोतदीप्यन् माणिक्यश्रीप्रतानैः परिमिलितमलिश्यामलं कोमलं यतो प्रोद्यत् सूर्यांशुराजन्मरकतमुकुराकारचोरं मुरारेः गाढामागामिनीं नः शमयतु विपदं गण्डयोर्मण्डलं ततो वक्त्राम्भोजे लसन्तं मुहुरधरमणिं पक्वबिम्बाभिरामं दृष्ट्वा द्रष्टुं शुकस्य स्फुटमवतरतः स्तुण्डदण्डायते यः घोणशोणीकृतात्मा श्रवणयुगललसत् कुण्डलोस्त्रैर्मुरारेः प्राणाख्यस्यानिलस्य प्रसरणसरणिः प्राणदानाय न स्यात् दिक्कालो वेदयन्तौ जगति मुहुरिमो सञ्चरन्तौ रवीन्दुः त्रैलोक्यालो प्रदीपावभिदवदति ययोरेव रूपं मुनीन्द्राः अस्मानब्ज प्रभेते प्रचुरतर कृपा निर्भरं प्रेक्षमाणे पातामाताम्रशुक्लासितरुचिरुचिरे पद्मनेत्रस्य नेत्रे पातात् पातालपातात् पतगपतिगतेर्भ्रूयुगं भुग्नमध्यं येनेषच्चालितेन स्वपदनियमिताः सासुरा देवसङ्घाः नृत्यल्लालाटरङ्गे रजनिकरतनोरर्ध खण्डावदाते कालव्यालद्वयं वा विलसति समया बालिकामातरं नः लक्ष्माकारालकालिस्फुरदलिक शशाङ्कार्धसन्दर्शमीलन् नेत्राम्भोज प्रबोधोत्सुकनिभृत तरालीनभृङ्ग छडुटाभे लक्ष्मीनाथस्य लक्ष्मीकृत विबुधगणापाङ्ग बाणासनार्थत् छायेनो भूरिभूते प्रसवकुशले ते भ्रूलते पालयेताम् रूक्षस्मारेक्षुचापच्युत शरनिकर क्षीण लक्ष्मीकटाक्ष प्रोत्फुल्लत्पद्ममाला विलसितमयित स्फाटिकैशानलिङ्गं भूयाद्भूयो विभूत्यै मम भुवनपतेः भ्रूलता द्वन्द्वमध्यात् उत्थं तत्पुण्ड्रमूर्ध्वं जनिमरणतमः खण्डनं मण्डनं च पीठीभूतालकान्तं कृतमुकुटमहा देवलिङ्गप्रतिष्ठे लालाटे नाट्यरङ्गे विकटतरतटे कैटभारेश्चिराय प्रोद्घाट्यैवात्मतन्द्री प्रकटपटकुटीं प्रस्फुरन्ती स्फुटाङ्गं पट्वीयं भावनाख्यां चटुलमतिनटी नाटयेन्नाटिकां नः मालालीवालिधाम्नः कुवलयकलिता श्रीपतेः कुन्तलाली कालिन्द्यारुह्य मूर्ध्नो गलति हरशिर स्वर्धुनी स्पर्धयेव राहुर्वायाति वक्त्रं सकल शशिकला भ्रान्तिलोलान्तरात्मा लोकैरालोच्यते या प्रदिशतु सततं साकिलं मङ्गलं नः सुप्ताकाराः प्रसुप्ते भगवति बुधैरप्यदृष्टस्वरूपा व्याप्तव्योमान्तरालांस्तरलमणिरुचा रञ्जिता स्पृष्टभासः देहच्छायोद्गमाभा रिपुवपुरगरुष्णोप रगरुप्नोष रोषाग्निधूम्याः केशाः केशिद्विशोनोऽपि ददतु विपुल क्लेशपाश प्रणाशं यत्र प्रत्युक्तरत्नप्रवर परिलसत् भूरिरोचिः प्रतान स्फूर्त्यां मूर्तिर्मुरारेर्द्युमनिशत चितव्योमवद्दुर्निरीक्ष्या कुर्वत्पारे पयोधि ज्वलन कृशशिखा भास्वदौर्वाग्निशङ्काम शश्वन्नः शर्मदिश्यात् कलिकलुषतमः पाटनं तत्किरीटं भ्रान्त्वा भ्रान्त्वा यदन्तस्त्रिभुवन गुरुरप्यब्धकोटिरनेका गन्तुं नान्तं समर्थो भ्रमर इव पुनर्नाभिनालीकनालातु उन्मज्जन्मूर्जित श्रीस्त्रिभुवनमपरं निर्ममे तत्सदृक्षं देहाम्भोधिः स देयान्निरवधिरमृतं दैत्यविद्वेषिणो नः मत्स्यः कूर्मो वराहो नरहरिणपतिर्वामनो जामदग्न्यः काकुत्स्थः कंसघात् मनसि विजयाय च कल्किर्भविष्यन् विष्णोरंशावतारा भुवनहितकरा धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाः पायासुर्मां त एते गुरुतरकरुणा भार खिन्नाशयाये यस्माद्वाचो निवृत्ताः सममपि मनसा लक्षणामीक्षमाणाः स्वार्थालाभात् परार्थव्यपगमकथन श्लाघिनो वेदवादाः नित्यानन्दं स्वसंविन्निरवधि विमल स्वान्तसङ्क्रान्तबिम्ब छायापत्यापि नित्यं सुखयति यमिनो यत्तदव्यान्महो नः आपादादा च शीर्षाद्वपुरिदमनघं वैष्णवं यस्वचित्ते धत्ते नित्यं निरस्ता किल कलिकलुषे सन्ततान्तः प्रमोदं जुह्वज्जिह्वाकृशानौ हरिचरितहवि स्तोत्रमन्त्रानुपाठैः तत्पादाम्भोरुहाभ्यां सततमपि नमस्कुर्महे निर्मलाभ्यां मोदात् पादादिकेशस्तुतिमिति रचितां कीर्तयित्वा त्रिधाम्नः पादाब्जद्वन्द्वसेवा समयनतमतिर्मस्तकेनानमेत् यः उन्मुच्यैवात्मनैनो निचयकवचकं पञ्चतामेत्यभानोः बिम्बान्तर्गोचरं सप्रविशति परमानन्दमात्मस्वरूपम् बिम्बान्तर्गोचरं सप्रविशति परमानन्दम् आत्मस्वरूपम् इति श्री आद्यशङ्कराचार्य विरचित श्री विष्णु पादादिकेशान्तस्तोत्रम् ओम शांति शांति शांति. What a beautiful stotras. Yeah, really reveling in them. Hundreds and thousands of them. Om Bhurva Swaha Pranaya Panaya Vyanaya Udanaya Samanaya Brahmane. If at all we have the Sanskrita Jnanam, you know, what a joy it is. Om Neelamega Shyama Nitya Jaganmoha Bala Gopala Om Venugana Lola Vedanta Vidya Namanita Cho Bhakta Janadhara Paramadaya Vardhi Mukti Sandhayaka Murti Geetamruta Data Paramayogisha Parthasarathi Rupa Krishna Sarvamangalam Rama Sarvamangalam Sadguru Sarvamangalam Om Natatra Suryo Bhati na Chandra Nema Vidyutam Tameva Bhanutas Narayana Vidasanatam Ram Bhadrat Purusham Anjaneyaya Namo Brahmadibhyam Eri Me Guru Pudam Vyasa Vishnu Yogindrayana Sukaya Om Yapyam Sadam Ramacharitam Samah Om Om Tulsiyavar Ramachandra Bhagavan Ki Jai Radhavara Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai Umavara Chandra Choda Bhagavan Ki Jai Sri Ramayana Mahabharata Bhagavata Upanishad Gita योगवासिष्ठ पातंजलि योग सूत्र श्रुति स्मृति पुराण इतिहास अध्यात्म रामायणादि समस्त सनातन धर्म वैदिक संस्कृति शास्त्र की जय वेदव्यास शुकदेव सूतादि भागवताचार्य की जय विश्वामित्र विष्णु वाल्मीकि तुलसीदास वेदव्यास आदि रामायणाचार्यों की जय वेदव्यास विश्वपायन आज्ञवल के आद्य शंकराचार्य ब्रह्म विद्याचार्य की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय आज के आनंद की जय नमः पार्वती पदे हर हर महादेव हर सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनं गोविंद गोविंद जानकी जीवन स्मरण जय जय राम राम अम्बे अम्बे माता की जय समस्त श्रोता भक्त जिज्ञासु साधक मंडल की जय. थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स. ओम शांति. One more day at the feet of the Lord. Hari Om. Big stotram it was. Tomorrow onwards there will be small. 15 minutes, a good relief. Hari Om. And the result of all these stotram